We live, we live, we live, we live. All right, what's good, YouTube? Alex on the cam, back here with another video. Yeah. Okay, so we have a different type of video. I'm going live because this is a longer type of video. Didn't want to do the editing on this bitch. It's a 32-minute video. So y'all strap in, grab your popcorn, grab your chips. It's going to be an interesting video, as you guys could tell by the title, but it's going to be a long one in my eyes, okay? My attention span is not that fucking long, but we're going to get through this video. Former hitman on Mexican prison, cartel brutality, and police corruption. So let's get right into this video. You guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, join the crew. You already know what to do, baby boo, shoot. Ooh! Let's get right into this video.
I ended up
I ain't got much to say.
Maximum security. And the riot popped off right 2 weeks when I was in there. There was 14 people killed. The main boss was decapitated.
Oh, shit.
And they were playing basketball in with his head.
Damn! That's crazy.
I was born in the state of Guerrero in Mexico. I was
Guerrero.
taken to the U.S. at a year and a half. I was raised in Southern California, in L.A., Compton.
Ooh, Compton.
You could say American childhood, around gangs.
You from L.A.?
All that good stuff that corrupts a kid.
Hell yeah.
Living in South Central Compton, Firestone region, it's very hectic, you know. Growing up, you have to be careful where you're walking, what colors you're wearing.
Facts.
Because obviously there's a lot of mugging going on, theft, Grand Theft Auto, gangbang shootouts. So it's you're under a lot of stress.
When he said Grand Theft Auto, it made me think of when I was like younger, like middle school, high school type shit. Kids were pronouncing Grand Theft Auto. You know, you have Grand Theft Auto. So when he said Grand Theft Auto, I don't know why I thought of that. Anywho,
The majority of the time.
anywho,
How did it kind of happen that you got involved in crime?
Growing up in a broken family, the circumstances of why my father went to prison that pushed me towards gangs, towards committing crimes. I was in a way looking for a way out. So my father basically he raped my sister when we were young. The stress of seeing that obligated me to try to kill him. Stabbed my dad a couple times. Obviously, I was barely 12. So I think that's the main reasons why I was trying to just get out of my own world because of the destruction that my own father had done.
wait. Your father raped your sister? He was that he was that nasty. Like, wow, a pedophile. How can you rape your own daughter? I mean, raping in general is crazy. Raping somebody else's child is crazy, but raping your own is even crazier and darker. That's sad. Like, that's crazy.
My father ended up doing 16 years in Avenel State Prison. Left us when we were really young. My mom, being Mexican and not being able to speak the language, because it's not easy living in a country where you don't even know the language, and not having any help from any family members.
Yeah.
So that was what pushed me into crime, into gangbanging, into hustling for money.
What kind of crime was it first, and how did it progress?
First, there was home invasions, you know, theft, normal petty theft. Then it moved on to moving certain amounts of drugs to different counties, depending on where the person that was in charge of the game wanted you to move them. Anything to gun crime.
How old were you at that point?
Around
Fuck.
14, 15. When you're in gangs, you know the heat that you're gonna get yourself involved. It's a lot of racial fighting going in because at the same time it's Mexicans against Mexicans and or other Hispanic gangs. They kill one of yours, you go looking for one of them. That's how I ended up as a gunslinger or a hitman. Well, however you want to call it, a sicario. That's how I got involved in gun crimes. At that age, I was still young and stupid.
Look at him.
That's when I decided that, you know what, maybe I should try some luck in Mexico. Maybe try to get away from gangs, you know, get away from the violence without really understanding what violence was. I myself took the decision of going back to Mexico, trying to find something better for me in itself. At the age of 17 was when I decided to go back to Mexico. Obviously, it's not the same thing because culture differences. I was raised with Chicanos. Mexican-Americans that spoke English, that spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
Going back to Mexico where there's only Spanish-speaking people, the culture is different, you know. It's a little bit harder to involve yourself in society.
Wait, I do just want to say this. I thought going back to Mexico, I was hesitating to say this, but I'm going to say it regardless because we're going to be blunt. I thought going to Mexico would only make things harder, not easier. I get there's certain things that are cheaper out there and all that shit, like maybe the cost of living, but regardless, like a job, certain say careers and opportunities, I feel like it would be better to be in America for that than Mexico. But I may be wrong. Somebody gotta let me know.
So you're always looking out for people that look like you, that speak like you, and that act like you. That's how I ended up in Mexico.
So what was it like in Mexico?
It's a whole different world, and the violence that the human being is able to
get away with,
to do is really unthinkable, you know. Basically, they were doing worse things that we could never imagine in a first world country, and it's more because of poverty, you know.
Yeah,
not trying to become something of themselves, making a name for themselves. Cartel de Sinaloa is one of the biggest ones in Mexico. Went to Sonora and I worked for the Sinaloa as well as a hitman. I worked in Morelos as well for another organization called La Familia Michoacana.
Whew.
And what does a hitman at a Mexican cartel do?
You take care of the dirty work, you know. Obviously, they're always fighting routes towards the U.S. They're always fighting for the, how can you say this? For the permission of extortioning and stealing
from the rich
in whatever state they're in, and fighting the enemies. You know, that means going into cities and locating these rival hitmen, these rival people or rival drug lords, and taking them out. You have to understand that the cartels is two branches: the ones that traffic the drugs, and the military side of the cartel as well. I went to a location once for the.
Wait, sorry. So the military has a cartel. Hold on. Wait, what? The Mexican military has a cartel of its own, like a cartel gang. And then you have the other cartels that traffic drugs. Damn, how big is a cartel?
Michoacana, they had 5 tons of cocaine. They also had a how do you call it? How do you say it? Laboratory of methamphetamine.
Laboratory.
I've never been towards that side of moving drugs or anything like that, because obviously you're talking about high quantities of drugs. I was more addicted to adrenaline of what I could do with the rifle, what I could do with the pistol.
Sheesh.
So when you're working as a sicario, obviously there's rules that you cannot pass if you want to keep yourself alive, because it's a very dangerous game. and that was something that was taught to me since the beginning. Never get high with anything that they move, in order for you to keep yourself on guard and on point on what you're doing. There's cartels that actually they pay their people with drugs, especially cartels that use methamphetamine. Um, Obviously, there's people out there that will get themselves in debt with the cartel or with a drug dealer.
which is bad
They have no
news.
way to paying their debt, and they get pulled in by force, and they maintain them with crystal meth, with cocaine. Obviously, the people that would do drugs, you would see them lasting 3 months, 2 months. They would end up getting murdered. So for us as
Damn.
sicarios, it'd be something easy to spot the enemy sometimes because of their drug use, because of the way that they would act in under stress or under pressure from the cartels or from the government. I think it's just more like they're using them as, how you say it, cattle for the slaughter. If you're a
Fuck.
professional, you know that what you do is you just put 2 in the chest and 1 in the head. That's it.
Sheesh.
It's better to have them dead than to have them to have evidence where the government will be able to incriminate you.
Oh my God. So they literally kill.
Are you worried that
They kill who, like, if you mess up, you might, like, you can't get out. You can't get out. You might as well just be killed like cattle. So what's the point of entering a cartel if you know if the only way out is getting killed? Is it for the money?
Do you feel like in Mexico, if you want to kind of earn money, you have little choice but to get involved with the cartel?
You can say in a way it is, because obviously a lot of the people that I met in the cartels didn't even finish their primary school, because
Yeah.
they didn't have the resources to look for a better education. In a part it is, in a part it's not. It's more about the influence that society gives them, the type of music that they hear, what they see on TV. That's what they feel inspired to be like that, and when in reality they have no idea what that life is all about.
Were you ever scared for your life?
Every day, that's how you live. Anybody that says that they're not scared of that type of life is probably lying. I think being scared is very important in order for you to keep yourself alive. Every time that I would get close to somebody, that person would get murdered, and it was just a circle that was not ending. So when talking to people that are in this environment, and when talking to people that think that they're gangsters or they're about that life, you can tell right away if they're lying or not, just by asking them what kind of weapon they use. So you can tell when someone is an expert, and you can tell when someone is just bluffing on what they're saying.
Imagine, chat. Imagine you worked for the cartel. Just picture it really quick. You're working for the cartel, making good money. You're a hitman. But anybody that you end up meeting outside of the cartel, you get a friend, they end up getting murdered by the cartel. And it's like, I'm assuming because they don't want you to have any outside people knowing about you're in the cartel, so they murder them. But it's like, damn. Imagine living that life. Like, the only people that you can know is people in the cartel. And even if you're in the cartel, just pray that they don't know your family. Like, the cartel doesn't know your family, because your family could possibly get killed. Or will. Say if you fuck up, they'll kill you and your family. That's crazy.
We have a saying, los huevos te llevan a la destrucción, your balls as a man will get you killed right away. So you have to use the intelligence and you have to use your balls, because obviously that's what it is, you know? You can't just be running around there thinking you're the biggest and the baddest, because there's always going to be someone bigger or badder than you.
Facts.
Is police connected to cartels?
Yeah, definitely. Local
Damn.
police are 100%.
Damn.
State police, you could say 50-50.
Damn.
It's basically the same law that Pablo Escobar told the government. Now it's plata o plomo, you know? It's money
Plata pluma.
or lead, whichever one you want. There's certain cartels that don't really give them the option of giving them money. They rather give them lead and go to war. Because obviously it's more like a guerrilla type war, and whatever they can acquire from those state government, that means rifles, that means life jackets, that means whatever they can take off their dead bodies, they'll take, then rather than give them any money to bribe them.
Jesus Christ.
What was the most violent thing you've seen?
I've seen a lot of violent things, and I would have to say,
Oh shit.
this time it was a time where they picked up like around 12, 15 people. Not all of them were enemies, you know. Sometimes you're in the wrong moment at the wrong time, and for hanging around with the wrong crowd, you get involved. And there was women and men. I didn't take part. Our group had just arrived in the ranch where this was taking place. Another group was obviously gonna was gonna execute them. They were obviously recording everything to send a message to the rivals.
Oh shit.
And they went at it with axes and chainsaws.
Oh
And
my
they
god.
dismembered everybody.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Chad. It's just my ears are sensitive to to hearing shit like this. Like I could take it, but I want y'all to keep in mind he said 12 to 14 people and you dismember all of them. That's a lot of work. With chainsaws and what else did he say? Y'all gonna have to remind me in the chat, but I'm like, I do remember chainsaws. That's what got to me, because it's like, imagine chainsawing somebody's arm off. Zzz. Oh my gosh, crazy.
Why would they do that? What's the...
So basically they want to put out a message, you know. Maybe this person took money away from the cartel, or they got involved in businesses where they didn't come through, in order to make sure that other associates don't follow the same route. They put them as an example. Once the society or the people where these people are operating, they see several heads appear in the morning with a big old message, or several pieces of bodies scattered around the city, then it's easy for you to go and ask for extortion from anybody. And they will do it with the fear that might happen to them or to their family members. They will pay.
Jeez, oh my god.
Whoa. What's
Oh
that?
my god.
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
If y'all made it this far into the video, let me know what y'all thinking.
I mean, I'll have to ask you, what was the most violent thing you've done yourself?
Oh shit.
There's a lot of things, but one in particular was I was taking 2 recruits to do a task that was given to us. These recruits obviously were new. They didn't know what they were doing. They got nervous. They came back into the car and they told me that the people that were there were armed. We pull up near this person, and this person is obviously a rival. The person in the back seat, I was driving. The person in the back seat pulled out a rifle and shot him. He missed the shot, but it injured him on the leg. At this moment, the rifle jammed. The recruit was panicking. I jumped out of the car, took the rifle, busted the bullet out and cocked it back in, and I shot him again. This person was still agonizing, trying to drag himself through through the pavement. The rifle jammed again, so I basically went up to him and smashed him with the butt of the rifle until his head exploded, and that was it.
Are we watching a demon right here? Like, are we watching somebody that has no soul right here? What do y'all think? If y'all made it this far into the video, let me know what y'all think. To like, what do you? How do I phrase this question? What do y'all think happens to people that have taken multiple people's lives? Like people that do this. What do y'all think? What do y'all think happens to them when they die? I just want to know that. Do y'all even think that people like this at a certain point, like, do you think they even have souls? Hitman people and all that shit? Let me know.
Back in the car and left. Obviously, there's more things that I've done I'm not willing to discuss at the moment.
I bet.
How many people do you think you've killed overall?
I've been in the game for a long time. More than 70 probably.
Ooh.
When we talk about all of those people
70 fucking
killed
people.
and tortured, have you ever thought back about them, thought about their families? What were the emotions you were going through?
You have to understand that you can't take anything personal. It's only a job, you know. It's only business, and the moment that you do take it personal, everything goes south. There's definitely there's honor in it. I think that's the only way that you survive, you know. That's the only way that karma doesn't hit you in your back, is by having honor. Obviously, honor in the way that how you handle yourself, you know. Obviously, there is sometimes that I think about a lot of things every day, you know. In my case, had no family. Try to avoid being even close to anybody that you had any feelings towards, because it could have they could use that as leverage.
I mean, it sounds harrowing, but it also sounds like quite a lonely existence, I guess.
It is. It is.
Wow. 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 No family in the cartel. The fact that he said you gotta take it like as honor is crazy. I'm trying to wrap my head around that shit. Like, let's continue, because honestly, my mind is getting fucked up. It's getting fucked up, Alex.
So I know you went to prison. Can you explain how and why you got there?
Yeah. They had killed someone real close to me, and I went out of my way to look for these people and get that situation taken care of. While I was in the area where I had taken care of these people, I was caught up by state and federal government, and I was arrested, taken, tortured, and then later on informed that I was being accused of murder in first degree. That's how I ended up in prison.
He took care of that situation, though.
And what was the sentence?
They wanted to give me 30 years of prison for murder. I only did 3 years.
Huh? You only did 3 years? How you get out of that situation?
Prison for murder. I only did 3 years. Prison is a whole different ballgame to what prisoners in the U.S. might feel that prison is about. I've known a lot of inmates in Mexico that have been felons in the U.S. and that have spent time in federal prisons, and they tell me over there it's a 5-star hotel compared to where we're at now. If you have no family, you have no clothes, they don't give you squat. Basically, your family has to come in and drop you off clothes that they obviously ask of a certain color. They have to drop you off toilet paper. They have to drop you off soap, shampoo, whatever you need to keep yourself clean inside of prison. Your family has to give to you. Other than that, the prison system basically makes sure that you have 3 meals a day and water. That's all they take care of. The cells can go anything from 11 inmates to I've seen 16 in one cell that is meant for 4 people.
Fuck.
So you're speaking about having people sleeping on top of the toilet,
Oh my
underneath the
gosh.
bench that you have to have your food, in the middle of the what do you call it, that little space that you have in the middle of the 2 concrete beds and 2 underneath the concrete beds. A lot of people think that correctional officers are the ones that are in charge inside. They are not. The ones that are in charge are the inmates and the cartel that runs the prison system. Because for every prison that there is a cartel behind it. The guards are sometimes they have no option, you know. It's like they're there between the sword and the wall. If they don't cooperate with what the cartel wants, then they know that they're going to be dealt with outside.
And I wonder if this works in the US as well, like if it works this way in the US. Because clearly, like, I would not want to be a correctional officer in Mexico. What's the point of fucking working at a damn prison if you can't even do your job? That is crazy. I wonder if that happens in the US as well.
So they try to just keep it chill, you know, in the way that they know who not to mess with and who they can obviously put their hands on. They're pretty down to earth, you know, because obviously they see other co-workers get killed for trying to oppose the cartel.
Damn.
What they're doing is they're basically trying to survive and trying to get the best of it, because obviously there's a lot of bribery going on, and there's a lot of prostitution inside of prison as well.
Oh, shit.
With the inmates, like with the female inmates, because obviously there's prisons where there's female and male. They're in different sections, but the prison guards, their money is prostituting the female inmates that are inside.
Oh my God.
What if I told you that the moment your book is published, there could be a giant
I would
billboard
have never
featuring
known
you
this
and
shit.
your book in Times Square? And in
So you got some corruption going on in prison.
addition, a video trailer that tells your book's story, a paid advert.
When I ended up in prison, because of the nature of my case and for the cartel that I was working for, I was privileged to be moved to a certain area where I was entitled to several stuff, and obviously I was given a job that was interrogating anybody that was coming in for drugs, for homicide, for kidnapping. And we would go in with the permission of the security of the correctional officers, pull out smartphones, start taking pictures, start interrogating inside of the prison. When I arrived in prison, obviously they promise you the stars, that they're going to get you out, that they're going to help you, that they're going to continue on supporting you.
How
Obviously,
though?
those are all lies.
Oh, okay.
What they want is basically they want you to put whoever you have out there that is loyal to you as a person, because they know who you are, keep them working for their organization. So obviously when I saw that my case was not progressing and that I had no benefits in having a lawyer from the cartels, because at the end of the day, sometimes those lawyers are working for someone else, you know. So they're not there trying to get you out. They're there to make sure that you stay in. So I basically washed my hands and said, you know what, I'm done with you guys. I ain't with the rivals. I ain't with you. I just want to be left alone, because obviously my time here is gonna be long. They didn't accept that, and obviously there was repercussions. was beaten to the degree where I have a broken rib, a busted eardrum. When I got better, I spoke to a lot of people that were in the prison with me, that were Chicanos, and they weren't just part of the cartel. They were just Chicanos, you know. And we made a riot. We popped the prison, like it's commonly known. We murdered two of them, two of their leaders, and made a big party.
Damn. Wait. Hold on. Because I'm over here thinking like there was repercussions for him saying that he doesn't want to be a part of it no more, right? But he didn't die. What you want to bet? I just thought about it. What you want to bet he didn't die because he was in prison? Well, that wouldn't stop nothing. I just feel like it would be easier to kill him if he was out of prison. But him being in prison kind of made it a little bit harder for them to kill him. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just wondering how come they didn't kill him? Like it sounds like they beat him up, but they didn't kill him.
We got transferred to a state prison, a maximum security state prison. And I spent another year and a half in that prison. I think those were the most violent ones. The prison where I had come from was a prison of approximately 500 to 600 inmates, and I was taken to a prison where there was 13,000 inmates.
Jesus.
I think it's one of my experiences that I will never forget. Just the amount of things that I saw inside. Ended up getting in maximum security, and the riot popped off right 2 weeks when I was in there. There was 14 people killed. The boss was decapitated.
Jesus Christ!
And they were playing basketball in with his head. The anti-riot correctional officers came, and they knocked on the door, on the maximum security door, to try to get in, and they weren't allowed in. They put all the dead bodies in the main entrance, and they told them that there was no problems inside maximum security, that all they wanted was them to take their trash. For a moment, I started laughing to myself. I was like, yeah, they're not gonna listen to us. They did. They went back. The people that lift up the dead bodies and the criminal investigations came in, took their pictures, and took the bodies.
Imagine you're in prison and you see some shit like that. 14 people killed, stacked up in a damn fucking pile. And then you also have inmates that decapitated had a decapitated head, playing basketball with it, shooting it around. Whoa. This is really messing my head up. Like, no bullshit.
All that built up of violence and memories and people that you loved gone starts getting to you, starts eating up what you have left of a human inside of you.
Exactly.
You
I can imagine.
You know, you have money, you have drugs, you have women, but you don't have peace. You know, you start thinking about
your mental's
what's
fucked
there
up
to come after you die.
Yeah.
Because you see people go left and right, and there was occasions where obviously you're in gunfights that last up to 2 hours, hour and a half, and you don't really know if you're gonna come out of those gunfights. So I started questioning everything, you know. Started questioning who I was and why I was there, and if what I was doing had any honor, you know, if it was worth dying for. I wasn't about to go back to prison. So mentally I was preparing myself to obviously get murdered, you know, and end my life in combat. But like I said, I started questioning everything because of the level of stupidity of other lieutenants, and knowing how the game works, you know. You're just a pawn for the real people that are making money. They're not gonna worry for you. They're not loyal to you. You're just something that can be replaced by something else. I think that's when I realized that, you know what, I speak two languages. I speak English, I speak Spanish. I'm not someone that is stupid. I've been able to survive this long. Like there should be a purpose of why I'm still alive. Because in reality, I was looking for a way out. You know, I still had bottled up the emotions of living in a scarred family, and especially the trauma that you go when you see your own father do something like that. Like it was around January. It was cold. We were up in the mountains, and in my head, we were going into some conflict with another lieutenant that basically wanted to take what I had. So he was trying to get me killed at the same time, and it was killing the lieutenant and getting into more problems with the cartel, and running to another cartel for trying to get help, obviously, or it was leaving everything the way it was, you know, just leaving everything behind. Just got my person out of there, and that's what at the end of the day I did. Just left my rifle, took my vest off, left the drugs that we had in the car, left the money that I had in the car, stole one of their pickups, and just drove until the gas ran out.
Y'all got denim? Hold on the website, y'all? Ain't no way you guys are a print on demand.
Really quick, I want to just say my opinion. What I'm thinking right now is like I would be so, you know, you gotta have a certain lifestyle to even enter in the cartel. I feel like you have to have trauma. You have to have maybe a small family that is very dysfunctional. Like you just have to come up from a fucked up upbringing. I feel like in order to even want to get yourself in the cartel. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, anybody that has a good upbringing, a solid upbringing, ain't no way they're doing some shit like this. Ain't no way. There's no way. Cause I'm trying my best to like put myself in those shoes, but I'm like, I wouldn't even get myself involved in some type of shit like this, only because it's like it's dangerous, and you don't only put yourself in jeopardy, but you put your family and your loved ones and the people that you care about in jeopardy. Now I'm not here to talk shit about the cartel. I know how powerful they are, but I'm just saying my opinion. Like that's not something that I would do unless my upbringing is kind of crazy and fucked up.
What about your family? You talked about your mom and your siblings. Are you still in contact with them?
Yeah, I'm in contact with them. I haven't seen my mom since 17 years.
Damn.
That's the last time I saw her, 17 years ago. So it's been a long ride by myself. I am in contact with them, you know. There was a point where they didn't really, we had no communication. When I got in contact with them, it was like, now you remember you have a son, you know? Now you remember you have a brother. Like, you guys shouldn't be crying. Like, we all take our decisions, and we have to live with our consequences. So, if anything happens to me, then don't worry about it. Let the dogs eat me, because that's the life I chose. That's what I would say.
Damn.
What about your dad?
Nah. Probably put a bullet in his head.
Whew.
If I couldn't when I was younger, when I'm older, then definitely, you know.
It seems like that really scarred him. That really scarred him. Him seeing his father rape his sister. I mean, of course, it's traumatizing for sure. I can imagine that shit. But that was one thing that really turned how do I say it? It switched the flip on him. It flipped the switch on him. Duh, Alex. The fuck are you talking about, you stupid bitch? But yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. It flipped the switch on him. Like, it turned him dark. Seeing his father do some shit like that to his sister, I feel like it changed his whole world around. And it made him take a different path than, you know, I don't know. I just find that crazy. Because he brought that up that whole interview.
What is the future for you? What are you looking forward to?
Nowadays, I'm a boxing instructor because I've always been into combat sports. We have a group of kids in Mexico that we help out, obviously trying to give them the best advice to avoid what one has been through, you know? So for me, it's if I can put in any small seed of help in order for our future generations, I'd rather do that than anything else, than try to make money or try to be in a better position. I'm not worried about that because I've already been there, you know? I've had all the money in the world and it doesn't really give you anything. You're still empty. I've grown up without a father, you know? I know the consequences of being alone in life and where it's led me. And I think Mexico has that problem that most of the families are broken up. You see kids running around 3 a.m, 4 a.m, you know?
Damn.
And sometimes they just need that extra motivation of someone that believes in them. So that's what's there for me right now.
Or a sense of of direction.
There is obviously quite a lot there. Do you think this has an impact on you? Do you think there's any PTSD or anything like
Good
that?
question.
Yeah, I suffer of PTSD, insomnia,
Yeah.
lack of emotion sometimes.
Facts.
Sometimes they tell me that I'm very cold. It's something that you can't just let go out of the blue, you know? I think it takes time to understand that you're no longer in that life, you know, and try to lower your guard because obviously in that life you're always with your guard up. You don't really know how to deal with normal people. You don't know how to deal with your family. In my case, it's difficult to just try to pretend that all of that stuff has been left behind when it hasn't.
Yeah. I mean, with the type of job that he had, chat, there's no way that he could have feelings. Like, like imagine, put yourself in those shoes, chat. You're a hitman for the cartel. Like, you have to kill people. At a certain point from the jump, I feel like from the jump, you have to learn to detach your feelings from your actual body. Like when you're doing some crazy shit, you gotta detach those feelings and constantly program yourself to be like, this is just business. Do it. Boom. Shoot somebody in the head. Like you start to program yourself, and after doing it for so many years, it just becomes you. So that whole being cold, being emotionless, that's not a shock to me because it's like you have to be that way if you even sign yourself up for being a cartel member.
Does anything haunt you from all of those days?
I would have to say no, because I know that I have not killed anybody that's innocent, you know?
Okay.
Obviously, if I was giving several tasks to kill people's mothers, people's wife, and I have always objected it because that's not the person that I am.
Okay.
What's done is done, you know? And I think that I wouldn't change anything in my life because it makes me the person that I am today.
Wow.
There's no what ifs. You know? That's an imaginary world.
Wow.
In 1975, I actually took an oath with 5 other gentlemen, became a sworn made member of the family.
Wow. Wow. No regrets. He had no regrets because he didn't kill any innocent people. That actually intrigued me because it's like, I did think that the cartel would kill sometimes innocent people. And clearly they do, but he just wasn't one of them. But anywho, y'all, if y'all made it to the end of this video, this live stream, let me know in the comments down below. What do I want y'all to comment down below to let me know that you guys made it to the end of this video? Comment down below. Cartel crazy. Yeah. Comment that down below. Cartel crazy, and that's how I know that you made it this far. But yeah, this video was definitely crazy. Opened up my mind up to how cartels work. I've always been, intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I've been intrigued by the cartels and certain crimes that they've done. Fun little fact. When I was like younger, when I was like probably in 6th grade, I went up on the internet and I typed in like cartel videos, and I kid you not, chat. I actually have watched this. This may sound crazy, but I've watched beheading before, like somebody getting their head, and it was the most craziest thing that I've ever watched in my entire life. Like, I don't even know if I should be admitting that on camera, but I already did. It's live. God damn, Alex. But yeah, I've watched that before, and one of the most craziest things I've ever witnessed, like on the screen. And I never even I never told my parents that or nothing like that, but I told myself I would never look some shit up like that again, because it low-key scarred me. I can only imagine if I saw that in real life, but I saw it on the screen and it still was very traumatizing. Like, I laugh about it now because I'm a little crazy, but still, like, I would never watch no videos like that again. But yeah, anywho, if you guys made it to the end of this video, you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the crew. You already know what to do, baby boo. Shoo. Ooh! I'll catch you guys in my next video. You guys have a blessed day. I'm about this bitch. Later.